of the American Museum of Natural History.
Good morning, and thank you very much. On behalf of the American Museum of Natural History's trustees, many of whom are here today, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the groundbreaking for the Richard Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation. This undertaking is the centerpiece of our 150th anniversary celebrations, which we began earlier this year. I am delighted that Dick Gilder and his wife Lois Childs are here today. Dick has served the museum with great distinction. He has been a catalyst for change and a driving force in the museum's growth. Behind the scenes, he played a major role in the development of the Rose Center. Our extraordinary graduate school bears his name. And now, through his great generosity, we embark on another project critical to the museum's future. Friends, another round of applause for Dick. I also offer a warm welcome and great gratitude to many others who have supported this project. On the public side, we have the City of New York, which is well represented today by our commissioners and also, I believe, by our mayor, Mayor de Blasio. He's coming. Okay, well, when he comes, we'll give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. I should say that the city has been enormously supportive of our project, and we are deeply appreciative for that. The Gilder Center will advance the way we conduct science and the way our collections are presented. It will house a great library with unusual outreach. It will offer new approaches to education. As I mentioned, we are recognizing our 150th anniversary. I'm going to pause because the mayor, in fact, is here. Mayor de Blasio, thank you very much for coming. Join the party. In your arrival, I saluted you and your administration for the great support that you have given to this project. I also said that we are celebrating our 150th anniversary. The museum was chartered by the state of New York in 1869 as an educational institution. Education is at the core of our being. It is appropriate, therefore, to call upon a graduate of one of our many educational programs to say a few words. Ramon Pimentel, will you please join me? Ramon. Ramon is a graduate of our Science, Research, and Mentoring program, which enables New York City high school students to work on research projects with our students. Ramon just finished his freshman year at Syracuse University's School of Environmental Forestry. His objective is to become a scientist or perhaps a lawyer. He seems to be taking a whole spread of courses, but I'm hoping on science. Ramon, please say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well? As I said, my name is Ramon Pimentel. I attend the State University of New York College of Environmental Science and Forestry. I am also an alum of the Science Research Mentoring Program, class of 2018. My first interactions with the museums was a long time ago, primarily in my pre-K days, where I would just take tours and walk and be really tired after a long day at the museum. But fast forward towards my junior year of high school, where I truly found my passion for education and my hunger for knowledge. It was there in junior year of high school where I saw the opportunity to take an after-school course here called Peoples, Pathogens, and Politics, where I was able to learn more about the guinea worm taught by one of the instructors here called Jackie. She taught me about the politics of diseases while also teaching me the reality of what the American Museum of Natural History really does. And that's something that I never would have expected. I later became interested in the Science Research Mentoring Program, realizing that I wanted to do a little bit of research on my own. There, I was introduced to the other side of the sciences, the non-lab sciences. As a participant of the program, it is typical that they take us to the Black Rock Forest in upstate New York. There, we conducted research activities, and we learned about other forms of coding, which was helpful for me in my college career. I've been living in this concrete jungle for the past 18 years of my life. Unfortunately, I've never seen a forest or a natural preserve due to my family's background, couldn't afford it. And a program like this, the Science Research Mentoring Program, also known as the Shrimp Program, offered me this opportunity to go for free, which is a really great deal for me. I was truly blessed by the opportunity to see new plants, not to the science, but to me. I'm a curious person, and it was truly a heartfelt moment every time I would discover a new plant and they'll tell me the name of it. I was also able to do a lot of hiking during that time. And during that time, I did a lot of reflection on my past life and what I want to go forward in the future. I asked myself, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Ramon? I figured I wanted to do something that still allowed me to defend those who cannot defend themselves. This includes people and plants and animals. I found that it was my passion. But I also wanted to contribute to the sciences. I wanted to be a part of this community where people communicate with each other and it's in an amazing way. My time here at Shrimp not only helped me become a better scientist, but also helped me in terms of personal ways, such as time management. That's something big that as a freshman I've been hearing, but thankfully I was able to master my senior year of high school. From leaving school from 3:20 to arriving at the museum at 4:30 on time, always. It would be truly false of me to say that I did this by myself or this was the help of my parents. But in reality, this is really possible because of the staff here at the American Museum of Natural History. They contributed to my success. They contributed to my being here. I am truly grateful for them. From my silly questions to just interacting with them, talking about different things, to as well as talking to them about professional advice, how to get to grad school. They all offered me this, and it made me feel included here at the American Museum of Natural History. It's a family. There's a reason why programs like the Science Research Mentoring Program, SALT, or the After School Program are successful. It is because the staff provide the support for us students to become successful and keep us interested in the sciences. With that being said, it excited me when I heard that they're building the Gilder Center, and it was going to be built as the new education wing. This means that students will get the same opportunity as I did, but even better, with the state-of-the-art facilities, which I'm truly excited for them. And I really hope that they impact their lives like this program has done to me. The construction of the Gilder Center is solidifying the commitment that the American Museum of Natural History has towards the education of this generation and the many generations to come. I want to thank you for coming, and I look forward to the success of this facility we'll have. Thank you very much.
Ramon, thank you very much. You have defined the essence of why we exist is to serve the population of the city of New York and now increasingly the world. Standing up here, even at my advanced age, is somewhat daunting. I think Ramon deserves an extra round of applause. And now, with the applause continuing, I introduce the leader who has transformed the museum who has driven this project through its downs and now ups, Ellen Futter, the president of the museum.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Louis. I've never known you to be daunted. Thank you, Ramon, for your wonderful remarks. They cannot be topped. Welcome and good morning to everyone. We made it. And thank you also for arranging for the weather. It could not be more beautiful. How wonderful is it to be together on what can now officially be called a construction site. And to look out and see in front of me, adjacent to me, on both sides, and even a little bit behind me, all the people who have made and are making this project possible, along with the extended museum family of our magnificent new Richard Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation, all here to celebrate this milestone occasion as we get ready for it, break ground on this sensational new facility. So let's hear it for all of you. And especially for Richard Gilder. Dick, can't thank you enough. For his wonderful wife, and Dick's wonderful wife, Lois Childs, as well as for our steadfast advocates and partners from the city and state. And I want to offer an especially warm welcome and thank you to our mayor, Bill de Blasio. Thank you so much. And a most enthusiastic shout out for our world-renowned design dream team, architect Jeannie Gang and exhibition designer Ralph Applebaum. And while I'm at it, could we have a full-throated cheer for the museum's 150th anniversary? As important as today is for all of us and for the museum, it is an especially important civic moment in the life of our great city. An explicit and brilliant demonstration of how the public-private sectors can, and in this place and in this time, do come together to enhance a leading institution and better serve the millions and millions of people it touches locally, nationally, and globally. I hope you all have an enormous sense of pride and purpose as we officially begin construction for what, quite simply, will be a spectacular and vitally important resource for science and education, infused with technology, oozing with innovation, and reaching people everywhere throughout the 5 boroughs of Gotham and in the farthest corners of the globe in unique ways that only the American Museum of Natural History can. In short, a science, education, and innovation center of our times and for our times. We are so appreciative of the support of Mayor Bill de Blasio and his administration, Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer, the City Council, and especially our City Council member Helen Rosenthal, the Department of Parks and Recreation and Commissioner Mitchell Silver, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Commissioner Thomas Finkelpearl, New York City Economic Development Corporation and its president, James Patchett, the New York City Public Design Commission and its executive director, Justin Garrett Moore, and the New York City Department of Transportation, represented today by Borough Commissioner Ed Pinkar. When you hear that list, it makes you understand what went into our getting here to this day and this moment. Each of these individuals and agencies and others throughout the city and the state was critical in making this pioneering and highly complex project possible. We thank you greatly, exceptional partners all. So please thank you. And our thanks go as well to the Landmarks Preservation Commission, which, we like this part, unanimously approved the project. I'm pleased to acknowledge its chair, Sarah Carroll, who is with us today, and great appreciation to our Community Board 7, to its current chair, Roberta Semmer, as well as to its former chair, Elizabeth Caputo, numerous others from the, who are here from the Community Board as well, and the reviewing committees. You have worked with us so closely on this project and many others, and your approval meant the world to us. I also want to thank the many community-based organizations with whom we've also worked closely, including the Friends of Roosevelt Park, the Columbus Avenue Business Improvement District, the West Side 77th Block Association, and Landmarks West. And we are so profoundly appreciative to the individuals who have so generously and so enthusiastically supported this project. First and foremost, and we really can't say it too many times, Dick Gilder. Dick is the museum trustee in honor of whose extraordinary generosity and leadership the new center is named, and who, as Louis said, has also inspired and made possible so many leading initiatives here in the last 25 years, including both the Richard Gilder Graduate School and the Rose Center for Earth and Space. So Dick, enormous thanks from the heart. And I want to thank as well Sandy and Ruth Gottesman, and I see Alice as well, for your magnificent support, not only of this wonderful Gilder Center, but also of the unbelievably gorgeous Hall of Planet Earth, the museum's widely acclaimed Center for Science, Teaching, and Learning. And also to Peter and Susan Solomon, who I see as well, whose leadership support enables us to create the gorgeous new Susan and Peter Solomon Family Insectarium, which will, at long last, give these unsung little creatures, that's the insects, not the Solomons, who dominate the earth, the respect and attention that they deserve, and whose support also extends to the Peter J. Solomon Family Curatorship. We also warmly thank trustees Linda McCauley and her daughter Ann McCauley, who is here with her, Valerie Peltier, Kitty Kempner, Nancy Fessenden, and her husband Hart, who is here as well, for their significant support of the Gilder Center. You are all amazing. What you're hearing is this museum board and family manifesting its support and its conviction for this museum's underlying role in society, in this city, and for science and education more broadly. Applause for all of you. This remarkable assemblage of public and private support really grows out of a shared passion and a commitment to providing new and more sophisticated scientific resources and 21st century educational and exhibition facilities for the public. For young people like Ramon, and no one could say it better than he did, and all those young, wonderful young people here from PS 84. Please, let me say this again, this project can't come soon enough. Because by enhancing science education for our children and science literacy for the general public, the Gilder Center will improve our children's opportunities, our teachers' preparedness, our scientists' capacity for discovery, and by extension, our nation's workforce preparedness and its global innovation and leadership, and the ability, and it couldn't be more important, of our populace to participate thoughtfully and wisely in a democratic society. Because in this time of rampant misinformation and confusion, especially about the critical science-based issues of our century, climate change, human health, and other environmental threats, this museum's evidence-based scientific research and education which enhances the public understanding of how science works, what science can tell us, has never been more critical. No wonder then that we are seeing a growing hunger among the public for just what this museum provides: educational resources, information, and learning experiences that are accessible, trusted, and authentic, not to mention thrilling and engaging. And this hunger has only intensified our need for space. With some 5 million on-site annual visitors, the museum today is bursting at the seams. The new Gilder Center will provide important new educational spaces and a new, more publicly accessible home for much of our collections and for our library, while it also is dramatically improving circulation and facilitating a more satisfying visit to the museum, both physically and intellectually. Isn't it appropriate, then, that as we kick off our 150th and have this groundbreaking this spring, our 150th celebration will culminate with the historic opening of the Richard Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation? Because this building itself, as it rises up out of this site in all of its extraordinary beauty, actually grows out of the very founding and history of this museum. In fact, this is the first time that our mission of science and education will be stated explicitly on the front door of the building itself. Civically grounded here in New York City, global in reach, acutely multidisciplinary, innovative, and vibrant in purpose, potential, and aspiration, this building will be at once a manifestation of the museum's long-standing mission and work, aligned and amplified for a very modern time, and poised for a future of continued leadership and civic service. So today, as we officially start this journey, we celebrate the connections that have brought us together around this shared hope and purpose. Our connections to the glorious yet fragile natural world in which we live, to each other in our shared humanity, to our children, to our city, to our nation, and ultimately, to our determination to create a better future for all. I thank you all so very, very much for helping us to reach this day. Thank you. And now it is my very great pleasure to introduce one of the Gilder Center's biggest fans and supporters, the Mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio. We are definitely applaud. Not stepping on that. We are deeply appreciative of your partnership and the support of your administration, and so many are here today, including the assistance of more than 10 different city agencies. You understand the work that we do and the role that the Gilder Center will play, why it is key to our city's vibrancy, well-being, educational excellence, and to the lives and aspirations of the millions of children and families who call this great city home. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Thank you. Ellen, I'm making a height adjustment here. Everybody, this is an extraordinary day. It's a great day for this museum. It's a great day for this city. It is particularly a great day for the children of New York City. And I hope, like me, you were moved by Ramon's words to hear in just one young person's case, but imagine the many, many thousands who will benefit from this center, to hear how this place changes lives, opens up minds, opens up possibilities. It's something everyone here should be very proud of. Now, as with all forms of progress, there are always challenges. And Ellen, I think you'll understand this. I like to say that I represent a city of 8.6 million highly opinionated people. So not everybody understood immediately why it was so important to foster STEM education, why it was so important to create this center. But perseverance is a virtue. And we're all here today because we believed together that this was important for our future. And if you think about perseverance and you think about vision and you think about a resolute nature, I think I can say that this museum is so blessed to have as its leader Ellen Futter. Let's thank her for all she does. I want to thank all the members of my administration. They've all been named. I thank them all the city agencies that did so much good work here. I want to thank everyone who's a part of this museum, because you're a treasure. This museum is a treasure for this city. And it's a very moving place. It's a moving place for all of us who have been to it many times and consider it part of our lives. It's a moving place for folks who see it for the first time from all over the world. Special thank you to Louis Bernard for his leadership. Thank you so much. To all the board members, thank you for all you do for this museum, for this city. Thank you to all the employees, everyone who's supported this amazing center. And from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all 8.6 million New Yorkers, Dick Gilder, thank you. You've done something great here. Appreciate it. And I want to, from the public sector, thank my fellow investor, Borough President Gail Brewer. Thank you for your support. Now, we could look at this museum and this center in some, if you will, more traditional lights. When we think about the museum, we think about the experience people have, we think about the impact it has on our economy, we think about the tourists who come here. We're at an all-time high for tourism. And this is one of the places that people want to see the most. And that's all very good. But I want to talk about something that's maybe a little more personal and human, which is the magic of this place. Why it is quintessentially New York. Because things happen at this museum that don't happen anyplace else. And I remember one time my son Dante said that when he has friends who come to visit New York, he considers this one of the places he has to take them, because you're really going to feel the magic of New York and the fact that here extraordinary things happen. This place epitomizes it. And it's a very moving place. Even the installations that were done many, many years ago, they grab you in a particular way. Every time I look at those representations of nature and animals, and it draws you in a way that's so compelling, makes you think, makes you feel something. That's why this place is special. And so many young people come here, 400,000 students every year. And I think for the vast majority of them, it's one of those memorable experiences that changes their lives. Now, this center is going to add something very powerful, because here our young people and everyone are going to get to understand the work of our scientists. And I agree with Ellen. Science is under attack. I'll say it a little more bluntly. Science is under attack, and that is a danger to our nation and our world. This is not a partisan statement. This is a statement of fact. And yes, my friends, there's still some facts out there in this world. The fact is we need to double down on science. We need to focus ever more crucially on science. So I hope that this will be where a whole new generation learns a devotion to science, because we're all responsible for saving this earth right now. And the generation coming up will have even greater responsibility. So here at the Gilder Center, I think those connections will be made and those sparks will fly, where young people will become devoted to the work of preserving our planet, protecting all of us. I'm very proud to say the City of New York has been in the forefront of this effort. We have invested $78 million because we believe the Gilder Center is really important for this city. And we believe this museum also epitomizes that great New York tradition of bringing everyone together. When you come in here, you see people from all over the world. You see every faith, every nationality represented. You see folks who are blessed to have done well and folks who are struggling every day, but they're all in the same place, learning together, experiencing something special. And this museum is devoted to making sure there is an opportunity for everyone to participate. When we came forward some years ago with the IDNYC initiative, the Museum of Natural History was one of the strongest supporters and really bought into the idea that if we opened up the gates further, if we made it more possible for folks who hadn't experienced museum or didn't know if it was for them to come in here and be a part of it, that we would create a whole new generation of museum goers, a whole new generation of devotees to this museum. And in fact, as a result of the initiative we did together around IDNYC, the museum gave away 81,857 free memberships to IDNYC cardholders. Thank you, Ellen, and thank you, everyone here. And I guarantee you, you're going to see that passed on generation to generation, a devotion to this place and all it means. So I'll conclude with this. In the end, what we try and do every day in our city government is foster fairness and inclusion and opportunity. And it's so good to be in a place that does that for New Yorkers all the time and understands how crucial it is to keep that flame alive. This city has been so great for generations because it's a place for everyone. And it's our turn to make sure that continues to be the case. Here at the Museum of Natural History, our values play out in such a beautiful and compelling way. And the Gilder Center is only going to make it more wonderful for all the generations ahead. Everyone, this is a day to celebrate. Thank you. God bless you all.
I think we need another adjustment of the mics. Mr. Mayor, thank you so very much. Your remarks were spot on. As I'm seeing the mayor go, I'm also looking down the aisle, and I'm now seeing Britt Louise. And Britt, my turning back and forth, we're so glad you're here with us as well. Thank you for coming. And I'm also delighted that the mayor particularly singled out our chairman, because our chairman, and I'm also thrilled that Jill is here as well, Jill Bernard, he has been with us through every bit of this fight, every day and in every way. So please, a moment of applause. I violated the rules. And now to continue our program, I am very pleased to introduce one of the leaders of our Board of Trustees who is helping to spearhead the Gilder Center project, a consummate real estate professional and visionary. Valerie Peltier is Managing Director of Tishman Speyer, and we are privileged to have her as the chair of the Museum's Buildings and Grounds Committee, which oversees the development of the Gilder Center and this entire construction site. Ladies and gentlemen, Valerie Peltier.
Another height adjustment. Thanks, Ellen. It's so great to be here finally for this groundbreaking ceremony. As Ellen mentioned, I'm privileged to chair the Building and Grounds Committee, which oversees the development and maintenance of the building's facilities, and we're just thrilled to celebrate the official launch of the spectacular Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation. One of the pleasures of being involved in this project has been watching the creativity and drive of our architect, Jeannie Gang, and her Studio Gang team. Jeannie's accolades are myriad: the MacArthur Genius Award, honors for spectacular projects completed in cities across the country, and many more remarkable ones just coming out of the ground. This spring, Jeannie was named the world's most influential architect by Time magazine and one of Time's 100 most influential people for 2019. Jeannie is distinguished especially, though, by her commitment and sensitivity to environmental design and urban planning. Studio Gang takes an interdisciplinary and sustainable approach to design that prioritizes prioritizes relationships amongst individuals, communities, and the environment. For all these reasons, we know our project is in the most excellent hands. The collaborative nature and innovative spirit of Jeannie and the entire design team, I mean the entire design team, enabled this project to get where it is today, and we are deeply, deeply grateful. So it's my honor to introduce the inimitable Jeannie Gang.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here. We at Studio Gang find this to be the most exciting project that we've ever done. It's a project near and dear to my heart. Can you imagine what a dream project for someone who is committed to creating relationships between people, communities, and their environment? And that is exactly what this building will be. There's really three things I wanted to mention about the building to help you get excited about it as much as we are. And that is the idea that this building will be sparking everyone's curiosity about science and nature as they walk into the doors of this place. And that was our driving inspiration, was to make a place that it not only works toward your understanding of science and the brain, but also towards your heart and the love of beautiful space and being in architecture that will draw people here just to see the building. When they get inside, it will be a place that makes you want to explore and discover science. We're creating the main exhibition space where you enter. You'll be able to see all the exciting things going on in the museum and make connections to the deep knowledge that exists here. Secondly, it's really about a building that will demonstrate sustainability. And so we're committed to this high-performance building, which will have things like natural displacement ventilation, high-performance facade, daylight, deep into the space, harnessing daylight to illuminate the space and the collections, collecting rainwater. But I think most of all, it's really reusing this site that was already here and making the building very low energy and high performance. And finally, I think the main point of this space, bringing together the programs that Ellen mentioned, but showing how the collections that are in this museum are really still alive. So we will be putting into the museum places to see the collections in all of their glory and actually seeing how science is done, and hopefully, again, inspiring people to be scientists, to expand their education about the world, and to put science in front and center. As a day of groundbreaking, it's one of the most fun days of a project because we know that all the exciting making is about to come into reality. But it takes so many of us designers to put this together. It's really about connecting art and science for architecture. So we have a very big team of designers and talented collaborators here. I think we would not be here without the help of the city and Mayor de Blasio, the council member Rosenthal, our borough president, but also our fearless leader, Ellen Futter, who has brought us all the way to this day. So thank you again, Ellen. As well, we've been, from the very beginning, working closely with Louis Bernard, the building committee, and the museum staff through this whole entire process that is going to make this project happen. I wanted to also thank Richard Gilder and all the donors who are, their generosity is really going to put this building in front of us today. So thank you, guys. So this team of talented consultants, collaborators that we are working with includes Zubatkin, Ralph Applebaum, Davis Brody Bond, Reed Hildebrand, landscape architects, Arup, our structural engineers, Bureau Happold, Atelier 10, Renfro Design Group, Boris Mika Design, and Tamshik Media. And those are all the collaborating consultants that helped us on this. I want to thank our own team at Studio Gang who have been working on this project late into the nights and every day of the week. Unbelievable commitment to the project. And our team here today includes my partner Mark Schendel, Wes Walker, Anu Leoninen, Anna Flor Ortiz, Annika Schwartzwald, Spencer Hayden. Thank you guys for all of your hard work for all these years. And every single detail is very spectacular, you will see. I just want to close with thanking someone whose work has begun and who is going to be critical to making this project a reality, and that is all the trades and the workers and the builders who are going to come together and now really bring their talents to every part of this building. And I want to make sure they know that we are so behind them and so inspired by the things that they will be building. So thank you to all of you, men and women who will be building this building. Thank you very much.
Jeannie, thank you, and you can see why we're so excited to work with Jeannie Gang and Studio Gang. And now I'm very pleased to ask our good friend Gail Brewer to say a few words. As many of you know, Gail is Manhattan Borough President, but we still think of her as our own because of her extraordinary tenure as our City Council member working on behalf of the Upper West Side's families, school children, and of course, this museum. Now she's bringing her energy to the whole city, but we still think of her as ours. Gail Brewer.
Just Manhattan. So I am honored to be here. I certainly want to thank Ellen Futner and Lisa Guggenheim and Dan Slippin and Ann Canty and my representative on the board, Annie Hess. Thank you very, very much. And I love Britt Louise. There are a lot of great people. She's a rock star on the Upper West Side also, but I won't get into how many great things she's done. And I want to thank this amazing architect because when we first met, she showed us some rocks. I don't know what they were representing, but the rocks worked, and now we have a building. And that's why you got the MacArthur, I'm sure. I also want to thank, obviously, Community Board 7 and Peter Wright, because, you know, he's on 77th Street, and God knows what goes on at 81st Street. So they have to work together now, 81st and 77th. That's a big deal on the Upper West Side. And certainly the bid is really, really important, and many other people, and certainly I was pleased to allocate your funding to support this amazing project. It is about ensuring that New York City young people have access to the best facilities and technology and scientists and programs. It's about taking either STEAM or STEM. I prefer STEAM, but STEM is okay also. Seriously, and preparing youth and families to take on the challenges that this planet faces. The United Nations released a report recently compiled by 145 experts from 50 countries reviewing 15,000 scientific and government sources. The report warns, no surprise to you, that 1 million plants and animal species are at risk of extinction. And not sometime in the future, but within 10 years. And we know that this impact on biodiversity affects forests and oceans and water and food and health and sustainability of our planet. Facing all of these harsh realities makes us all the more appreciative of the efforts by this great museum to teach the 5 million or more visitors and the gazillion, 400, 500,000 school children who come here each year, and to train the 5,000 science teachers and to address these life and death realities. I want to tell you how great the museum is about education. You know it, but let me just give you some examples. When I was on the city council, working with the amazing staff and the Urban Advantage program we started together with Ellen Futter and others. So every year, Title I middle school students come together to all of the scientific institutions in the city of New York, led by the museum. They're very smart. If we did something for only Manhattan, the other friggin' boroughs would get upset. So we had 5-borough strategy, brilliant, Ellen Futter. And so now all the museums and all 5 boroughs work together, but they come together here at the museum once a year to present unbelievably scientific presentations. At the same time, to the credit of the museum, they got through the State Department of Education. I don't know how the hell they did it. But now, teachers, science teachers, are trained here at the museum. This is an example of the amazing work that can continue with the Gilder Center, because young people will be able to understand gene mapping and 3D imaging. There'll be access to the museum's collections, to the technologies and the tools. This facility will raise the already awesome work of the museum to a new level. That's why I'm supportive. So the place for science and education is right here on the west side of Manhattan. Much thanks to every single person in this room and to our great city. Thank you very much.
You can see why we love her, and Gail, we're going to freeze your jeans. As we conclude our program, I can't conclude it without also thanking one other group of people. My outstanding, amazing, remarkable, dedicated museum colleagues for their enormously hard and skillful work in getting us to this day for this historic project. Please give them all a round of applause. To all who have made this day possible, to the museum at 150 years young, and especially to the Richard Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation. Here we go. Bravo, and thank you.
Thank you. We are not quite over yet. I'm Ann Canty. I'm one of the museum's senior vice presidents, and we've now reached the point in our program where we are going to celebrate the Gilder Center project with photographs. So I'd like to ask all of our distinguished guests on the stage and everyone who was given a card with a yellow sticker when they came in to please join us over to my left. Museum photographer Dennis Finnan is over there now, and he is waving his hand, so if you head in his direction. Museum staff will assist you in finding your place for the photos, and once you're over there, Dennis is going to give you further instructions. If you're a member of the press who would like to capture photos or video images, we invite you to walk over to my left now. And staff will be there to help you get in position. Everyone else, if you turn to your right, you'll have a better view, and probably stand, you'll have a better view of what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming for the photograph, please walk behind the trough. Let me get up. Please walk behind the trough here. You'll see your name on the floor. Your shovel will be right in front of you. So the people on my left will be facing this way. The people on my right will be facing this way.